come the fuck on, man. Damn. Every fucking time I'm doing a fucking video, I'm always getting interrupted by somebody, like a fucking phone call or something. Like, what the fuck, man? Damn. Just threw me off motherfucking task. But yo, we about to get into the 8th house, the Scorpio. And it's crazy. As soon as I was done with the 7th house Libras, I get into Scorpio. I get it. And what's crazy is, damn it, that's not even the subject. What's crazy is 844. That's dealing with motherfucking 8th house energy. And you add the 4 and 4, that's 8. Basically, that's 8 and 8, 16, 7. So, dark energies relate. But yo, let's get back into this shit. Because, you know, I just got interrupted and shit. And I hate fucking getting interrupted. But, of course, when you're talking about, you know, health and shit, these demons, they always going to create a circumstance situation and try to, like, rebuke that shit and fuck up the video and shit like that. But, you know, back to what I was basically breaking down as far as 8th house energies and shit. You know, we about to really get deep into this shit. But 8th house is dealing with the dick, the pussy, and the ass. Anything that's basically transformation that shoots out that part of the body. Feel me? So also that's dealing with the pelvis, the reproduction, the urinary system, liver, kidneys, bladder stones, the genitals, feel me? Painfulness down there, you know. We might be in the hours of Scorpio and shit. You just might be having fucking dick problems or some shit. Like, you just, chick might be having pussy problems and shit. Like, your pussy might just start hurting. Your shit might just start hurting. Maybe you might need to use that shit. Or maybe you might just need to, like, you just give your shit some pleasure, you know. Like, talk to it, communicate with it, you know. Metaphysically, that's how I'm talking. Like, also, y'all prone to getting boils on y'all skin, you know, rashes, skin rashes, eczema, skin problems, skin disorders and shit, mucus, cold, stomach buildups and shit. That's dealing with the 8th house Scorpios and shit like that, you know. Also, y'all could be dealing with incurable diseases like inflammation, like inner diseases, organs, and bladder issues and shit like that. So that's dealing with, you know, like HIV, AIDS, STDs, all kind of diseases basically that's equipped to that. And you know, you can cause these problems, you know, if you overindulge into like sexual intercourses and shit like that. So like if you have Venus in your charts, like, you know, Venus is love, partnership. You know, if you have a lot of partners, you're just having over sexual intercourse and shit. You're just getting lost into your desires. You're not programming nothing. You're not programming the pussy that you sliding in. You ain't programming your area and shit. You're just having fun, sliding in a whole lot of pussy and shit. Playing around with the pussy, you know, licking up the pussy, you know, all kind of shit. You might just fuck around, catch glaucoma, all kind of shit. You know, this goes with any sign though, and it all depends on where your charts is at in your 8th house and shit. So if you got a lot of detriments and shit in there and a lot of problems and issues and shit, you can't get your dick hard, your pussy can't get wet, or you having problems and shit in general, look towards your 8th house. Find out what you need to do. Find out what you need to work on. And it ain't got shit to do with no fucking Viagra. It ain't got shit to do with going to the motherfucking doctor. It's about the state of being you in. And if the longer you stay in that state of being, the more you're going to experience negativity and shit. To the point where you might never get hard. To the point you might never get your shit wet. So it's very important to make sure that you know what you're dealing with. For me, you can be overindulging in that area and shit. To the point you just might have Saturn in that motherfucker. Limitations and restrictions. To the point you can only fuck one time today. You can't fucking get laid up. It goes fucking deep though. But you gotta like basically know how to do things in moderation and program shit so you can get above these circumstances situations. Because we always gonna have goods and bads. But it's all about how you look at it though. Are you gonna take this shit with a grain of salt, with anger, and go to sleep with it on it so it can add more weight on your shit? Or you just gonna smile and be like, you know, this ain't even me. This is just an experiment. So it goes real deep though. It's dealing with that kind of energy. Also, let's get into 9th house. That's dealing with, you know, Jupiter. So if you a Sagittarius and shit like that, this is what you're going to basically be experiencing. But that don't necessarily means that this is your 9th house. You can just have 9th house and 10th house. So that's dealing with, you know, travel. That's dealing with hips, thighs and shit. You can have hip thighs problems and shit by being at work and shit. Or you can just basically be lazy. It plays out with all signs. You could be a lazy motherfucker and you can have problems and shit. But ninth house, that's dealing with the hips, the arterial system, the nerves, the thighs and shit. Your hips, your thighs, you got them hypnotized. Feel me? If you got hip problems and shit, and thighs problems and shit, that's dealing with ninth house. That's like normal problems and shit. So you know you can be sensitive to these areas and shit. You can be touched, or you can be having any problems with your boyfriend or girlfriend and shit. Your man just fuck around and touch that area, or your girl just touch that area and shit. Y'all can be having circumstances, situation to the point where, oh, you think you was domestically harmed and shit, violent and shit. You just a sensitive, fragile motherfucker that got fragile thighs and ribs. That's it, that's all. And the hips and thighs. And that's dealing with the sacral areas. That's dealing with back. You know, y'all also got back problems, hip problems, leg problems, joint problems. Got skin dry to fuck up, muscles, arthritis and shit. That's dealing with, you know, with that kind of energy and that kind of element. So you got to be very careful and shit. And you got to basically know when to do things and know not when to do things. But there's always a cure for every motherfucking disease and every circumstance situation that you can basically get rid of. And stand that shit. Don't be into detriment thinking that, oh, you can't get out of this circumstance situation. Like, this shit is deep. You can really basically find ways and structures to get approved, get above circumstance situation. It gotta always be a negative point of reference. But you know, it's all about the state of being you win, that motherfucker. Also, that's dealing with, you know, y'all gotta be very careful, especially if you a Sagittarius and shit. Y'all can dive heavily into sports and shit like that. It's a possible chance that you can get hurt and harm this shit in some way, shape, or form. So it's very important to make sure you don't fucking overindulge the circumstance situations. Know when to have limitations and restrictions. For me, you should basically be working at home type shit, you know. Jupiter, you know, that's dealing with, you know, that's not like y'all motherfuckers. Y'all don't even need 9 to 5. I just need to work from home or work for a desk type shit. Cause that's dealing also with Pisces and shit too. Y'all motherfuckers don't need 9 to 5. I need to be working at motherfucking desk or be an entrepreneur type shit. Y'all feel me? Y'all can't relate to that shit. But also 10th house, that's dealing with knees, bones, all that shit in your body, inflammation, skin, legs, skin rashes, boils, leprosy, like boils and joints on your skin, acne, all that shit. Suppression, emotions, depressions, anemic, deafness. You feel me? A lot of y'all Capricorns, y'all can't hear the first time. Y'all be like, huh? Type shit, you know. Throat, mucus, arthritis and shit. That's dealing with all Capricorn kind of elements, kind of energies and shit like that too. So basically that's what you need to be looking upon in your 10th house if you having these problems too. And that's, you know, knees, arms, joints, and bones and shit. All that shit in general, that structure and shit. Stability. So if you having problems with there, you having problems with having structure in your life, basically that's what you need to be looking upon as far as people, places, things, what you need to work on, what you need to value and shit like that, what you need to basically know when to dodge into, be serious and not overindulge. Like Saturdays, like days like Saturday, that should be a day you just don't drink, don't fuck around, overindulge to the point you're gonna have limitations and restrictions. That motherfucking Hennessy gonna fuck you up. That Hennessy can create a circumstance, situation, a catastrophic event that'll fuck you up. Cause you basically was drinking on the Sabbath day, the day you're supposed to basically be very calm, cool, and collected. Don't even overindulge. Just relax. That's the day you need to be doing. Sunday would be the same day you relax and just basically put your all into. Feel me? And Monday is supposed to be moon day. You're supposed to be home that day. Tuesday is aggression and passion, desire. Wednesday will basically be Mercury. The days you need to be thinking and analyzing. Thursday is the day you get the most wisdom and knowledge. Jupiter, travel. Feel me? Getting from point A to point B, journeys and shit. 10th house will basically, Friday will basically be love, appreciation, Venus. Feel me? Partnership, home, security type shit. Feel me? 11, the 7th fucking day, Saturday will basically be limitations, restrictions. Saturday, don't do too much that day. Don't fuck around, getting overindulging too much to that day. Sunday will basically be the day you shine, your spiritual day. Not no motherfucking religious text where you come together and just basically drink the blood of fucking Jesus and eat the bread of Jesus. No, motherfucker, that's the day you worship your shit, your solar plexus, your Jesus, motherfucker. You the motherfucking Jesus. Above that thing. But I'm talking about a spiritual construct in general. Not that bullshit that they teach you in the churches and shit for you to be praising the motherfucking demon to bring his ass back into this world to cause destruction. That's why our history repeats itself. Because the same spirits that once controlled this shit in the beginning, they want to keep coming back here and causing destruction. They don't want to leave. The motherfuckers is fucking weak. They ain't got no motherfucking life. So they use people, places, and things. They work to 50, 20, 100,000 people, places, and things to indoctrinate you and try to basically call you a demon because you don't look at their point of view and reference. Fuck you and fuck that. Real shit. All right, we about to get into 11th house, so that's dealing with the Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarius, so you know we dealing with the legs, the ankles, we dealing with shit like we get attacked by aliens, basically. Basically, that's what happens. Like we get attacked by shit the shit that you don't normally see or hear. Like if we get overindulged into like drinking and smoking and shit, we start hearing shit, seeing shit that we normally don't want to see. Feel me? Just basically acting paranoid. We kind of share Saturn energy too. It's sort of kind of mechanism. So that's dealing with, bones in general, But we prone to this shit. I mean, like, my Aquarius know what the fuck is up. We dealing with leg, knees, circulation in the blood, We fucking can get inflammation in our throat, cough a lot, shit like that. Spasms, like, your feet can spaz up and shit. Spasms and shit like that. Complaints. When we don't like the cold, for me, that shit get on our nose. Diarrhea, we can shit a lot. You know what I'm saying? Thyroid issues, fever, irregular heart rate. We get it. We like electrical problems and shit. I don't know if y'all got electrical problems. I have electrical problems. I get electric shocks and shit like that. Irregular heart rate pumping and shit. Pretty much seeing and hearing things. That's basically what I just covered. Dealing with legs, blood circulation, ankles, left ear, left eye. Shit like that. You got problems with like that, you need to look towards your 11th house and find out what you need to do as far as getting shit done. And that goes to show we on 12th house. So that's dealing with the feet, liver, feel me? Because feet governs like, that's Pisces. That governs the feet, the liver, lymphates, weirdness, coughing, inflammation, skin disease, eyelid issues and shit like that. Arthritis, and also for the females in Pisces, y'all got heavy periods and shit, foot disorders and shit like that. It also play out with lymphatic systems, and y'all basically y'all prone to like getting indoctrinated by doctors and shit. So they, a lot of Pisces, they in jail, they facility homes and shit like that. They got illusions and shit. They see shit like imaginations. That's dealing with psychological issues and shit like that. But there's nothing wrong with them though. They just more into like the inner world. They can basically see shit before it happened. People look at them like they crazy and shit. Those are the people like, it was like you would look at like a Pisces like somewhat a conspiracy theorist type shit. Where like, the government would try to like infiltrate these people and try to capture them and shit. That's dealing with the sun signs and the moon signs. So so if you're dealing with a moon sign Pisces too, that's dealing with, a lot of shit that they can see behind closed doors that can actually take shape and form type shit. They can like basically go back in time. We all got this power, but being that they in 12th house, being that they Pisces and shit, they able to see this shit from a point of view reference on a day-to-day basis. And that's also, dealing with shit like they can just try to capture you and put you in a mental home and shit. Your family, these motherfuckers to make you turn the family on you too. To make you think you crazy and shit. The whole time you know the shit, you know the truth, but these same motherfuckers that be indoctrinated. But it goes real fucking deep. But let's get into these motherfucking planets real quick and shit, basically. So it can basically give you an explanation of what kind of planets and shit that basically be correlating these issues and circumstances and situations, and also what you can basically do. So the sun is dealing with the heart, the sun strokes, heat strokes, eyes, blood circulation, overindulging and shit like that. So that's dealing with the sun. So the way you act and the way you present yourself, if you overindulge in certain circumstances, situation, it can cause problems with the sun, with the heart, with your no energy and shit. You just be burnt out type shit. Moon is dealing with the feelings, overreacting, vibrating at a certain level, and giving a lot of care into something, because that's dealing with the heart. That governs the heart. That's dealing with care energy and shit like that. So by you caring too much about circumstances and situations, you can cause problems with your heart, all kind of shit. So also with Mercury and shit, that's dealing with thinking, the communication, analyzing, over talking, and communicating with people, places, and things. By you overthinking can cause problems with the headaches, worriness, shoulders problems, hand problems, and shit like that. It goes fucking deep, but it depends on like where your Mercury is at, and depending on how much you overindulge. This can cause square opportunities for you to learn. Also, this can cause oppositions, all kind of problems and shit that'll harm you and put you back and have you reminiscing about shit. Also, we in Venus is like overindulging too many of your pleasures and shit, eating too much fucking chicken on Thanksgiving, eating all that fucking meat, all that motherfucking potato salad, all that motherfucking mac and cheese and shit, overindulging to too much jewelry and shit, overindulging to too much loving and fucking and shit, to the point you catch an STD, AIDS, HIV type shit, to the point you don't even give a fuck, you just go in that shit raw, like no condom, no nothing, you just go in that thing raw, because you all into sex. You be like, fuck it, this pussy feel good, to the point that pussy fuck you up. So it's like dealing with pleasures and shit, people, places, and things and shit, having too much pleasure and desires and shit, and then circumstances, situations come where a day will come and you just basically got to deal with that alignment and that shit to the point where it'll fuck you over. You just get mad and shit just because things ain't going your way. So you got to be very careful. Have balance and shit. Don't overindulge into your Venus. That's called have balance and restrictions and shit. Or Saturn gonna come in there and fuck shit up. And Venus don't get along with Saturn and shit. So, that's how shit play out. Also, we dealing with the, Venus, and we dealing with Mars too. It's too much anger, aggression, and passion can like fuck with you, can fuck with your mind. Too much anger and shit, can make you lose your head. Too much anger can burn your eyes and shit, stress, all kind of shit. Like, it goes real deep. That's also dealing with a whole lot of elements that y'all gotta be very careful and aware of and shit. Y'all dealing with, head, governs the head and shit. So, y'all head first, motherfuckers. Gotta like know when not to overindulge and know when to have limitations and restrictions and shit. So it goes real deep for me. Don't go crazy now. I mean, y'all motherfuckers go crazy. I'm dealing with you Aries, or if you using the Aries energies and you got Mars in your charts, that's how shit can play out. Be very careful. Don't overindulge. Don't get into too many programs and shit that can basically make you go all out and go crazy and have motherfuckers thinking that shit like that. So, that's just dealing with the muscles and the aches and shit and the pain. Saturn is basically dealing with limitations and restrictions, not understanding your limits and what you need to do and what you're not, and knowing not to do. So for instance, if you just basically doing things on Saturday and shit, and if you got Saturn in this chart and shit, you just going against the if you going against universal laws and shit, you gonna fuck around and be met by a demon that's gonna fuck with you and hold you back. So it's very important not to overpass this shit. So be careful with your limitations and restrictions when you get indulged in circumstances, situation. Be very careful about that shit. Jupiter is basically, being held back, having fate, and already knowing and indulging into too much shit. So Jupiter is dealing with eyes, movement and shit, travel and shit. So if you used to traveling a lot, you can run into circumstances, situations and shit that can play heed to your life. That can just basically be a learning experience of when to do things and when not to do things. So basically, have wisdom and knowledge. Utilize Jupiter to know when not to go to a doctor and know when to just handle shit yourself. So just get your own doctor as far as, therapy. That's dealing with, massages and dealing with the body type shit. Or get your girl to massage you type shit, Cause y'all motherfuckers, yeah, I ain't gonna get too deep into it, Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Uranus is basically dealing with unique energy and shit. Things that you gotta actually deal with as far as something that's unique, something that'll happen uniquely, something that you basically pretty much a cause and effect issue, like, but it's a ongoing thing because it's something that you already got to deal with. It's something that's normal and shit. But you can also rebel against that shit to make things go in your favor and not let Uranus rebel for you. You don't want the planets doing shit for you. Feel me? You're supposed to use the planets' energies to do things in your own unique manner, and the things that actually make sense. If you got Neptune, that's not taking life serious and shit. So that's where definite transformation takes into place. So if you're not basically getting with the program, then Neptune gonna basically cause destruction for you. And basically, this is something that you will have to learn subconsciously. Feel me? Also, Pluto is just something that's a transformation thing. That's what you gotta transform and get used to, because basically that's like something that'll actually keep you to understand and know and learn things, regenerate, because that's something that's reality based upon that you don't have control over, and that's dealing with energy and shit and structure and shit like that. That's dealing with negotiation, having a balance and shit, externalizing your purpose, and actually going to the agreements of taking shape and form of, yes, because right now, Pluto is in motherfucking Capricorn, which is Earth and practicality. So if you letting the government use Pluto on your ass and you're not using Pluto for yourself to get about this circumstance situation, Pluto gonna fuck you up. And we about to basically be in Pluto retrograde in fucking June. So if you ain't handling shit now, be prepared to get your ass wiped up under the motherfucking curve to the point you might fucking die, motherfucker. Fuck out of here. Where your spiritual strength at? You weak ass motherfuckers. Get your shit together, for real. That's for people that's fucking weak. That's for people that always rely on the motherfucking news. That's for people that's fucking hot in their house, scared to come outside, scared to get some motherfucking fresh air. Your spirit creates your fucking body. Understand that shit. Fucking air you breathe, been polluted, been fucking polluted, been fucked with, been tampered with. But if you let that shit, if you low vibrational, you just worry a lot and you just scared of shit, you're gonna attract that motherfucking virus. You understand and fucking overstand that shit. You're gonna attract that fucking virus. That virus gonna fucking kill your ass. Understand and overstand that shit. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Tired of y'all weak ass motherfuckers scared talking about, this motherfucker, you gonna die that fucking way. Come back here again because you was too fucking chicken shit. You ain't got no spirit. You lack spirit. You fucking weak. Point blank period. Just go back into purgatory. Let another spirit that want to come into this motherfucking world and experience to go above, while your ass just stay stuck here. Fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. But that's basically helping to astrology. I'm getting to another thing. For me, I'm just fighting motherfucking spirits. That's basically, resonating on a higher spectrum right now. If you ain't rising above this fake ass shit, then you just gonna get trapped into this fake ass shit, and it's gonna bother your ass, gonna bite your ass. For real. But that's helping to astrology. I want to do another video about this shit, but I want to basically start breaking shit down overall in general. But basically, I'm bugging right now. So to go about healing this shit, what you need to do is find out everything about the house lords, find out where your house lord at, find out where the problem is at, so you can basically find a solution. Feel me? Because there's a cause, there's an effect, and there's a solution. So you basically gonna always experience a cause, effect about something, but don't let that shit be the solution, because it's gonna basically keep being stagnated. It's not gonna be something that you get through the square. You gotta learn through scares. You gotta learn through opposite energy. You gotta learn how to basically have a bondage with it. And you gotta basically resonate with it, so it can be a sex sign and charm for you in the opposition. So you can basically transform and manifest into your circumstances, situations that are basically going to your favors. So once you do this and once you utilize this in your own unique manner, things that make sense. Things will go smoothly. Feel me? So basically, for instance, let's just say Mercury is in your first house, right? So that's dealing with communication and thinking. That's in the first house. First house is represented by aggression. So basically, if you got a whole lot of Mercury, a whole lot of aggression and pain, that's dealing with the head first. So, like, if you got headache problems and shit, you would know what to do, and you would know where your squares and your oppositions and your trines is at, and you would basically metaphysically get into circumstances, situations like earth signs, like I would say Mercury, like like a Virgo, get into meditation, clairvoyance, clear your mind, clear all that shit out. Stop thinking negative and shit. Stop basically having circumstance situations to cause, basically, step by step. But that's a whole nother long ass video. Basically, this video already motherfucking long, and the video was disturbed. But basically, what I'm talking about as far as like the houses and the planets and alignments that you need to do and what you need to work on. This way you're not going to a fucking doctor. This way you're not over in the door. This way you ain't fucking getting drugged up. You can just basically do shit spiritually and get yourself inclined. You ain't have to go to a fucking doctor and get indoctrinated for thousands of motherfucking years, to the point you taking pills for the rest of your motherfucking life. But wake the fuck up though. Get into astrology. You don't know your shit. Get your ass into a motherfucking astrology and know what's up. Feel me? Because astrology don't stop with the signs. This shit go deep. This is metaphysically. This is shit that'll basically bring you to spirituality. But real shit. This video